I'm training for a world record attempt, the highest marathon ever ran. But it's not the marathon that's worrying me. This is how you train to break a world record. I'm heading out on a training run, so I'm just packing up some kit for the day, so fast and light. I say head out to Chile next week, and that's going to be quite a ball bagger. I haven't ever ran an official marathon before, so especially doing it at height, but you know, it's the organisation that's putting it together is Becoming X, and that's about normal people doing extraordinary things. So I am a normal person heading out to do a ridiculous challenge. But anyway, kit, prep, fairly happy. I'm going to head out and do about 12 or 13 miles. Yeah, it's not ideal. I've got a little bit of chest infection, head cold thing, but I've probably still got another 15 days before I'm actually running. So just try not to let that derail me. I'm going to head out, do a bit of a run now, shake out, probably get 2 more runs done before I fly out, and then it'll be acclimatization out there. But altitude is an absolute killer. You can be as fit as you like. You know, I've been to the summit of Everest, but I could easily be taken down heading out there if I don't take the altitude profile seriously, especially doing something like running a marathon. But either way, if we do it and we are successful, then that will be a new world record. Heading out to Chile next week with Becoming X and Fold to take part in a record attempt, which is the world's highest marathon. So climbing an almost 7,000 meter peak, the highest volcano on Earth, Ojos del Salado. So it's 6 or 7 hours climbing just to get to the top, and then the marathon distance, 40 odd kilometers, will start from there. I've been at altitude before. I've climbed Everest, I've climbed Lhotse and Amadablam, but the thing is with being at height, you know, this is the highest volcano on Earth, it's the highest peak in Chile. It is extremely dry there, but running a marathon at 6,500 meters is going to be tricky. Altitude is one of those things. It doesn't matter how fit you are, it doesn't matter how many times you've been to altitude, it can still take you down. Well, these are about 5 centimeters too long. The best thing you can do is just have a good base level of fitness, stay rehydrated, make sure you've got all the right kit and equipment, and that your ascent profile is within range. Good to go. You know, we're going to start at sea level in the Fords, in the Ranger like this, and we're going to go from sea level, hopefully get another record for the highest swing in altitude of a vehicle. Going up a vehicle to our base camp, you know, you can easily get altitude sickness there because you're heading up your ascent profiles quickly. The whole point about going to altitude is that you acclimatize slowly. I find for me, I need a good level of base fitness. So my aerobic fitness, my VO2 max is good, but I'm not going out running 25, 26 miles in the lead up to this. As long as I can run 10 or 12 miles, then I'm happy. I think the biggest part of any endurance sport, way above fitness, is mindset. I just did 500 kilometers in the Arctic last year, and fitness played such a small part in it. Really, it came down to resilience, mental, physical and emotional resilience. And also mindset. Having the mindset that you can do something far outweighs your physical ability. I've only had a week's warning so far that I'm going out to do this high altitude marathon record. But I can only say yes to things like that because I have a level of preparedness, I have a level of readiness which can allow me to go and at least attempt these things. Ready for me just means, can I go and do something that's quite physically and emotionally, mentally demanding at the drop of a hat? I would say at the minute it's 50-50 whether I'll actually, achieve this, doing this marathon at height. If I knew that I could go out there and do it and it would be a breeze, I probably wouldn't be that interested in doing it. I have no idea whether my body or mind will allow me to run 26 miles or 42 kilometers, at 6,500 meters. So really for me, it's about the challenge. It's about doing something new. It's about putting myself out there and being willing to fail and to fall. But with all of these things, you learn from it, you grow from it. So don't have much altitude around Bristol. So I'm up on the hills of Somerset, just south of Bristol. It's blowing an absolute hoolie. I guess with all of these types of adventures, records, travel, the sacrifice is time at home and time with family. This trip is going to be about 2 weeks. It's going to be incredibly difficult physically and mentally, but I'll miss being at home. I'll miss the boys, I'll miss my wife. And that plays a huge part in how you perform when you're away from home. So having that solid, stable home life really does help you achieve great things when you're away. Right. In a normal marathon, you do a 3-month beat up, you get level of base fitness, and then you go and hit the marathon. But I've had about 2 weeks warning and I've got another week before I leave, so I'm sort of compressing all that training into probably 2 weeks. But that doesn't really bother me because the job that I have, the job that I do, working in some of the world's most extreme, remote and hostile places, requires me to be in a state of readiness, to be prepared for whatever job comes in. I rarely get more than 2 or 3 weeks notice of a job. Can you go and climb XYZ mountain? Can you do a marathon? Can you go and take part in this expedition or this Arctic Ultra race? So I have a good level of base fitness. Need a little bit of luck when you're doing these things. You need luck with the weather. And injuries are also the other thing. I've got an Achilles injury from 500k Arctic Ultra race I did about 9 months ago. But so far on my training runs, it's been fine. But really, the injury part of it is something that I don't worry about because if I get injured, I get injured. If I can carry on, I carry on. If I can't, then I'm out. I have no control over that. Having that mindset again of being able to control the controllables. You really, have very little control over anything. Your mindset, your attitude, your breathing, that's about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've just got to not get struck down by altitude sickness or injury. And we've got a good support team there with Becoming X and the guys on the ground in Chile. So who knows at this point? I have no idea whether I will do it or not. Fairly confident.